Canada geese are a familiar sight at parks and ponds across North Alabama, but some say all that mess they leave behind is more than just a nuisance. They say the birds are a serious public health risk. Is that true? Let's verify.
For a lot of people, Canada geese are a beautiful part of the scenery here in North Alabama. You see them hanging around parks, ponds, and maybe even your neighborhood. But spend a little more time in those spaces and you'll start to notice something a little less pleasant. Goose poop. Droppings in the grass, on the sidewalk, or worst case scenario, on your shoes. But some people say those droppings aren't just gross, they're dangerous. So are Canada geese actually a public health risk? We verify. Our sources are Rutgers University, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, and peer-reviewed research from the National Institutes of Health. Here's what we found. According to Rutgers University, Canada goose droppings can carry bacteria and parasites capable of causing stomach illness, severe diarrhea, and in some cases, pneumonia. But research also shows something important. Detecting these organisms in geese does not mean they're commonly making people sick. In fact, peer-reviewed studies have found that direct, clearly documented cases linking human illness to Canada geese are actually limited. But the risk isn't zero. Wildlife and public health experts note that the real concern is water, especially where large populations gather. If that water becomes contaminated and is swallowed, the risk of illness increases. Experts also note that bacterial levels in water, including E. coli, become more active during warmer months, making contaminated ponds a bigger concern in the summer. For most people, however, the overall public health risk from Canada geese is considered low and depends heavily on the level and type of exposure. But public health agencies still recommend these basic precautions: washing hands after contact with areas where birds gather and avoiding swimming or drinking from water that shows signs of contamination. So we can verify that no, Canada geese are not a significant public health risk, but they can carry bacteria that may pose a risk under certain conditions.
If you have something you want us to verify, text us at 256-382-2692.